What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and this is a demo video of the brand new guitar from Cort Guitars, a brand that I've never had on this channel before. And this guitar is called the KX507MS Pale Moon. So this is obviously a 7-string guitar that has a multi-scale fretboard with a pale moon ebony top, hence the name of the guitar. Now, like I said, Cort is a brand I've never had on this channel before. I've heard good things for a very long time, but just kind of never ended up getting around to checking them out until now. So a big thank you to them for sponsoring this video and sending this guitar over to me. This guitar has a bunch of very cool features, and it actually comes in at a pretty affordable price point given the features that it has. So yeah, I just thought this was a really cool guitar that I want to feature on this channel. I already showed you how this guitar sounds in a full demo mix during that intro song there, which was a portion of my band Sky Limit song called Tears Like Rain. Shout out to Bradley Hall for writing that song, by the way. Isn't it a banger? But now that you've already heard how it sounds in a full demo mix, I'm going to talk about the specs and features of this instrument, show you a few solo tone clips, and then of course, last but not least, tell you my thoughts and opinions on this guitar. So first and foremost, let's point out the obvious. The top on this guitar is absolutely beautiful, and it is a pale moon ebony top, which just looks so sick, as you can see right there. While we're talking about the body, it is made out of mahogany, as you can see on the back there, with a really nice satin finish that's really thin, so you can still see some of the wood grain coming through. And again, back to that top, absolutely sick looking, especially with that black burst around the edges. For pickups, we are looking at a Fishman Fluence modern humbucker set. This is a pair of pickups that I'm very familiar with. I've had them in many guitars. They always sound good, and this guitar is no exception. They sound good once again, surprise, surprise. As for controls, we have a 3-way pickup selector over there, a volume and a tone knob, and both of these are push-pull knobs. So with the volume knob, if you pull it up, you're going to access voice 2 of the Fishman pickups, and down is voice 1. And then for the tone knob, down is the full humbucker sound, and if you pull it up, that's going to give you your coil split sound. So lots of different options right there. We also have 7 individual saddles, 1 for each string in this multi-scale layout. Moving on to the neck of the guitar, as you may or may not have noticed, this is a multi-scale guitar, so it has a 25.5-inch scale on the high string and a 27-inch scale on the low string. I am very familiar with multi-scale guitars. I've had a lot of them on this channel before, and this one is very good. 27 inches on 7-string guitars is a little bit more uncommon, so I'm always happy to see that. This will let you tune way lower into the 8-string guitar range with ease. And if you're not familiar with multi-scale necks at all, basically the premise is it's going to give you better string tension across every string, so it's going to feel more like a standard 6-string guitar on your high strings, and then as you get lower, the scale length extends, so it's going to intonate better across all strings and have better tension, so you don't need to have like a ridiculously thick string on the bottom with a ridiculously thin string on the top. It'll just feel more even across the board, literally. Back to the neck, we also have a Mengsk ebony fretboard right there with teardrop inlays, like so. We have a matching headstock with that pale moon ebony once again with Cort's logo, and on the back of the headstock, we also have Cort's own locking tuners. Always love to see locking tuners. And last but not least, this neck is a 5-piece neck, which is maple and purple heart. I lied, there's one more thing. This also has stainless steel jumbo frets, which is awesome. These frets are going to last much longer, and they always feel great to play on. Okay, so that does it for the specs and features of this guitar. Next up, I'm going to show you a few solo tone clips. So yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of high gain rhythm tone tests. We're going to play with both the voicings and the split coil and all that. And then I'm also going to show you clean guitar tones using the bridge, middle, and neck position. Again, going through those different voicings. Okay, now that I've shown you how the guitar sounds in a full demo mix, told you the specs and features, and shown you how the guitar sounds on its own, the last thing is to talk about my thoughts and opinions on this instrument. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Cort is a brand I've never had on this channel before, and I have to say that I am very, very pleasantly surprised with how this guitar performed, looked, and felt. I think that the Pale Moon Ebony top looks absolutely sick. Again, just look at that, especially with the black bursts around the edges, just looks so nice. As well, the Fishman Fluence modern humbuckers always sound good. So it wasn't really a surprise that this guitar sounded good because I kind of already know how these sound, but nonetheless, it was really cool to play around with it. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, I'm also a big fan, no pun intended, of the multi-scale design, and the fact that this one does go down to 27 inches is very uncommon for 7 strings, and I really, really like to see that. I know I did only have this tuned to B standard, but it's very good to know that I could tune this way lower to like drop E or something like that with absolutely no problem at all, because again, this is the same scale length as most 8-string guitars, which is really cool. And if you don't want to tune that low, it's also going to give you, like I said, better intonation across the board, and it's going to make that low string sound so much better because you can get away with using a thinner string for a lower tuning. And yeah, just everything about this guitar just felt really impressive. The fit and finish is absolutely fantastic. I really like how it looks. I didn't really notice like any flaws at all. No sharp fret ends. It feels really good. The last thing I wanted to mention about this guitar that I thought was pretty impressive is also the price point. So again, you're getting the Fishman Fluence pickups, stainless steel frets, multi-scale build, all that, locking tuners as well. And while I wasn't given the price of this exact guitar, comparing it to other guitars from Cort that are the same model, being the KX507MS, just with different top woods, it looks like these usually retail for around $800 to $900 US. So again, for all of these specs, that price is really, really good. If you were looking at these specs from a bigger brand like, you know, your Ibanez or Schecter or whatever, it would definitely come in at a lot more expensive than that. So if you're looking for a guitar with very high specs and to save a little bit of money, I think that Cort has made a very, very awesome option right here. So that pretty much does it for this video. Again, a massive thank you to Cort for sponsoring this video. And if you want to pick up one of these guitars for yourself, there's going to be a link in the description and the pinned comment below. Last but not least, if you're interested in audio downloads, guitar tabs, stems, or a shout out on the screen like these lovely people here, you can find all of that over on my Patreon page as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.